Hi everyone, Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Today is the 23rd of July, and I wanted to do a read on what's going on in Portland, Oregon, one of my favorite places on the planet. I love Portland. I love Oregon. Beautiful, beautiful state. And really, Portland, I think, well, a pretty enlightened state actually, if you to ask me. Very ecologically conscious, politically conscious, just conscious. It's a conscious place, and like a lot of cities actually are quite conscious because there's a a preponderance of education and culture and diversity. I think the diversity of cities is what makes them um, tend to be sort of more broad-minded. And of course, the Pacific Northwest is, at least on that side of the Cascades, is uh, pretty pretty awakened, we'll say. I don't like to use the word woke because it's being used in a negative connotation. People are sort of taking that on as like, oh, I'm woke now, but yeah. So I wanted to take a look. I actually looked at this the other day very quickly. I mentioned it in, I think, I did a reading, and I might have mentioned that I did a reading on this. And what came up in that reading, interestingly enough, the last card was the Empress card. Is the energy was like the rising of the goddess, like the why was it? I think the question was, why was it in Portland? And it was it had been a stronghold for sort of white supremacy, um, historically, um, but it has become something else, and that rising of the feminine. And then I heard about the mothers who stood between the protesters and the police, and then the fathers that stood between the dads, the moms, and then the dads. And they got tear gas. It was bad. These are people who are uh, facing violence with love. Facing violence with love. It brings tears to my eyes. And it's not the tear gas, right? Very, very brave, very loving souls. And thank you very much for doing that for all of us. Um, so I want to look at Portland, and I want to see why. What is this? What is this all about? Like, why? First of all, why did Trump pick Portland? Um, and what's going to be the consequence of that? All right, so I have the Tarot of the Mystical Sea. I don't even know the name of it. Terrible. Which has been really a good tarot to use for whenever I asked about the pandemic. It seemed to have a pandemic kind of feel to it. So that's my third eye. Oops, wait, let me do that. Hello, people. I have a crystal in the window, and it's poking me in the third eye. That's what all this is. Oh, where am I? Here, all this crystals in the window. So, in case you're wondering, so this will go right into my eye. All right. Okay, so we start this reading off with the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles is trying to balance things, but it's generally finances. There's a sense of being off balance. Okay, let's see what else. See what's crossing that. Delusion. All right, so let's keep going. This is Seven of Cups. I want to just sort of get a general idea, and then we'll go over all of them. Let's see what's at the root of this. Oppression. Well, isn't that true? This is called the Ten of Wands. They call this, in this deck, they call it oppression. Oppression. Okay. See in the past, the Nine of Wands, intensity in the sky. We had the Page of Pentacles. It's called Reservation, but it's upside down. So we have the Page of Pentacles upside down. That's the oh no, that isn't. I was gonna say that's the Mercenary, but it's not. We have the Four of Pentacles in the beginning. I mean, in the immediate future. This is called, in this case, called Authority. Okay. How it's seen from the outside. The Four of Wands, Delight, domestic situation. The Three of Wands, Cohesion, hopes and fears, the Queen of Cups, and outcome is the Hierophant. It's called in this deck Intuition. Okay. All right. So, it looks to me, first of all, at the root of the reading is oppression. And I think that is what he's attempting to do. He's attempting to oppress the fire of what's the word I'm looking for? It's early. Let me have a little more coffee. He's trying to oppress the fire of transformation. He's trying to oppress the fire of change. What is sort of the transformational process that we're going through. He's attempting to oppress that. And I almost want to say that with the Two of Pentacles as being the first card that came up, I feel like there's a self-sufficiency. There's a self-sufficiency that the cities, these larger cities, have. You see it perhaps you see it in Portland, you see it in like New York, you see it in Boston. It's almost as if they don't really need him. You know what I'm saying? And so, and they're not drinking the Kool-Aid. This is the card of delusion. This is what's crossing it. So because he's being such a terrible president, a lot of places are sort of on their own. And I think that creates a lot of self-sufficiency and a cohesion. It's like well, if they're not going to help us, we have to help one another. And that doesn't work out when you want to be an authoritarian, that, because people aren't going to be listening to you. And so I feel as though he is going in there in these places. Of course, it's because they're Democrats. I mean, that's what he's going to tell his base. But I feel as though if this could even be backed up by those who have the money, and they're like, wait a minute, we don't really want this to happen. There's something else. There's some financial reason for Portland. There's some financial reason for the towns and the cities that he's picking, and it's not just because they're run by Democrats. I think one of the things that his presidency has brought up is, do we really need a president? Now, of course, yes, we do. And the president is really a figurehead, right? I believe that we still do. I think we need somebody who can inspire us, right? I mean, that's really what a president does, and the president should be there to inspire us. That's, I think, why Barack Obama was a good president. He was, I didn't agree with everything that he did. I didn't agree with the concessions that he made oftentimes, but I think as a person, um, he was a thoughtful and a person who cared about people, and that's the kind of president we need. That's when we really um, thrive as a country, I believe. Um, so there's this sense of we don't need him, and so he's like, well, I'm going to punish you for that. I'm going to punish you for being self-sufficient. I don't know what's coming up. Um, Now, what's interesting is in the sky is the Page of Pentacles um, reversed. I almost feel like this is again. It all has to do with money. It all has to do with money. This could be Prince, Eric Prince, up at the top there. But it's upside down and it's a page. So there's not a lot of power in the page. There's a real learning curve in the page. Or this could be the energy of, in this case, Portland, um, attempting to be more self-sufficient, and that is being interrupted by what Trump and his goon squad is doing. And then the immediate environment, the next 6 weeks, right? We have the four of pentacles here, and it's this guy with all the pentacles, and it looks like there might be. It's like taking all the money for himself, taking all the money for himself. Um, I wouldn't be surprised that I'm not sure that this going in there with these goons is gonna. I think it's just gonna make the moment stronger for Portland. I think what he's gonna do, he's gonna try to take money away from the city. He's going to say, well, this isn't working, so I'm going to take the money away. That's what it looks like. Now, I don't know if he can do that. I imagine he could. I don't know. I don't know. But that's what this looks like. It looks like it all comes down to some sort of money thing. Um, yeah. How it's seen from the outside, we have the Four of Wands here, which is delight. I think this is delight um, in the way that the city is coming together, the different people, the different types of people coming together, protecting one another, um, supporting one another, you know. Um, and then the domestic situation is cohesion. So this is just going to make Portland a stronger city. So as far as the fire and the spirit and the transformation that it's going through with the fire, that itself is going to get stronger and stronger. So what he's doing is actually making Portland a stronger city when it comes to the cohesion of the people. Like they come together for to fight a power that's trying to oppress them. I don't think it's a good idea myself, but I'm sane. um, the the hopes and fears. We have the Queen of Cups. I think the governor, is it the governor of Oregon, is a woman? Yeah, because the mayor of Portland is a man. I just saw him get I just saw him get gassed. Tear gas on YouTube. Hello, the mayor. That's his city. Hello. Um, this I think is the governor, and I think it's they're hoping that she stands firm. I know that there's a little back and forth on the governor. I don't know anything really about the politics of Portland, and I'm sure I have people who watch me from Portland who might be able to fill us in. But um, I think there's a little like love hate going on with her, and I don't really, I'm not really sure of that. So if you want to inform me, I'd be happy to know. But um, they're hoping that she steps up. If she, I mean, I know she's already stepped up, but let's see. And then we have the Hierophant, the government, the institution, um, intuition, the body politic, the body, the Constitution of the U.S. Um, as an outcome card, I feel like, and unfortunately, I don't know the um, what's allowed, what's not allowed. Um, I went to Catholic school. We had religion class. We didn't have political science. So I'm not a political scientist. I don't know. I'm ashamed to say I don't really know how the government works per se. But I feel as though the government will step in. Now, I know Trump is the government, or whatever he is. Maybe he's not the government. But I feel like um, there's a sense of that the spirit of cohesion. I feel as though one person cannot overtake the Constitution, right? The Constitution will win out. The Constitution will win out, and I don't know what that means, right? I don't know how that works. I don't know what it means, but I feel as though um, there are things that he will not be able to do, and it may have to do with the fact that the House holds the purse strings, and he can't really not give people money. He can't really not give people money. I think that's probably what it is. So I think his plan is, um, first of all, I think he picked the wrong city. He picked the wrong city. And it might have something to do with Antifa because Antifa um, might have started in Oregon. I don't know the what do you call of Antifa either. But I know I have a friend in Oregon, and they hear about Antifa a lot. So it's very possible that it was the place where you can inform me on that as well, where it started. Um, and so he feels like this is like ground zero for the radical left. Hello. I'd like to show him ground zero. Okay. I'm going to pick some illuminated earth oracle cards for this situation in Oregon. Just going to, I think, pick 3 and see what else we get. These are, well, I could use them. I use them like tarot cards, but they're really oracle cards. And I like to use them. Oh, and this woman is from the Pacific Northwest who does these clear maps. So I think these are apropos to ask about Portland. They have a lot. They're very Portlandy colors, right? The golds and the blues and the greens and just love it. Just love it. Kind of rainy, rainy day. Hot coffee on a rainy day. Ooh, sorry. Oh my God, so funny. I think I'm funny. All right, let's see. Aha. We get resilience. Resilience here. So we're dealing with a population that is. Do I have two cards here? Nope. Resilience. Who's very resilient? Childhood. Potential. Potential. It's funny. Whenever I think of Portland, I think of a book that I read a long time ago. What was the name of it? It's about this young girl. She grew up, and I think in like a logging community in Oregon, and she would talk to the animals, and she had like this imaginative world, and she would like pick characters from history, and she would name, like, I think she had a mouse named Lars Porsena of Clumsia, and there was actually a Lars Porsena of Clumsia, like that kind of stuff. I always think of that, and there was this sort of like childlike connection and wisdom that came from her. And she wrote this book, and she wrote it as a child. And then they said that, and it's a beautiful book. I'll put it in the descriptor. I have it in my house. I have to find it. Um, and it was so beautiful that they didn't believe that a child wrote it. And so even though it was well received, they ended up giving her such a hard time that she ended up like going into seclusion. I think she might have even went into an institution. I'm not sure about that. But it was true. She was connected. She was connected to the fairy. She was connected to the other realms. She was sort of perhaps a fairy herself. Really connected to nature, and a really big heart. And she would make friends with the pigs that she would end up having. They would end up having to kill to eat. So, that's the way you lived, right? So it reminds me, like, whenever I think of that part of the world, I think of that book, and that's what this card looks like to me. Childhood, right? Right in the middle. And what I want to say is, there's a resilience to Portland. This is not a place that you can get away with this stuff. There's a childlike wonder and a connection to nature there. Um, it's and a beauty that can be seen with the heart of a child. And then we have potential. So what I would say about these three cards that I picked concerning this situation in Portland is that I think it's going to make Portland stronger, quite frankly. I think it's going to make it stronger. And it's almost like in history, when people are up against it, like we'll say the Alamo. Just I don't want to, like, I'm not talking about the politics of the Alamo, but I'm saying remember the Alamo, right? So it's like that kind of thing. It's like it becomes this other like a front against, it's a front line against the front of the authoritarian, um, patriarchal, right? Um, and it comes back with this energy of love and connection connection to nature. And it's the goddess again. Here we have the goddess coming up against the forces of the patriarchy that wants to subdue it. But there's no subduing the goddess anymore. People, it's not happening. Everything is shifting. We have Eris square Pluto, Eris in Aries, the pissed off feminine. We have Black Moon Lilith in Aries right now. We have Chiron and Mars in Aries. This is not, there is no way on God's green earth or the goddess's green earth that he's going to succeed in this. There's just no way. And yeah, he picked the wrong city, I would say. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. I don't know if you gave you any insight that you didn't already have or that will be helpful to you. But no, for all of you, my friends, I have friends in Portland. I love you guys. We're with you, and keep strong. And if you want to do something yourself, hold a space. Hold a space for the protesters, just like we did with the Black Lives Matter protest. You know, holding the space. We have to continue to do that. If you're not there and you can't go out and all that stuff, we have to hold the space for them to be safe. So they're growing. The protests are growing there. They're not getting smaller. The resistance is growing, and will overtake and overcome this challenge. So be careful out there. If you are going to be protesting. And I think there's been a lot of really great organization with these protests. I know with the Black Lives Matter protests that were going on, there were actually like people who volunteer to take care of the people who get gassed and stuff. So, you know, you could, if you're in the city, you can even volunteer for that. You could be like the medevac, you know, unit, I guess. But this isn't gonna work. This isn't gonna work. And hopefully no one is gonna really get hurt. You know, no one's gonna die in this. All right, guys, like and subscribe. Take it easy. Bye.